Well, we've just come down this track across the ford. Now this isn't strictly public footpath, it's part of the farm that we're staying at, so we're assuming that might give us some exploring, what's the word, privileges perhaps. I hope I'm not being too cheeky in saying that, but we are stopping at the campground, at the farm, you know what I mean. So come across the ford there, and then lo and behold, in this little field here, there appears to me to be a feature. And what it is a holloway. Now do you see that little depression circling round, coming down here to the gateway into the ford? Well, that little holloway, I'm going to investigate up the top end of it and see what it does, where it goes through the wall. Might well have been for timber from coppicing or anything else from the woodland, you know, but that's just a little feature there which over the course of 50 or 100 years of hard use back in the day has in a sense worn away or excavated that little holloway feature. It might just be ponies, of course, pack mules or something, but anyway, distinctive holloway there. Going to investigate. We're going in. There's this very handsome gatepost here, quite tall, and there's a feature here. Now the other day I stopped along a dry stone wall at Bandrake Head because I'd noticed, of all the things, a rock with a hole in it with a sort of circular cutaway around the hole. And here's another instance of it. Obviously this is in a gatepost and that one wasn't, it was just in a rock, which might have been part of a broken gatepost then, perhaps. Like I said, it was, repurposing the rock. There it is. Now there's possibly the remains of a structure here, a small structure. It might have been a barn, of course, that holloway was going to and from. A small barn, or something of that ilk. Well, this holloway now crosses a boundary into this woodland, but I get a sense of it continuing and just veering slightly to the right up there. You know, just down here, an old trackway. There's definitely a track bed here at the top of that sort of curvy holloway bit. Going past this structure again. And then into the field proper, with this bit curving away down to the ford. Now the lady at the campsite was telling me, I think she said up until about the mid or late 60s there was a couple of brothers in Oxon Park who were swill makers, baskets and all that kind of thing. I can't remember the name of the brothers. She did say the name. She said they then moved on to Lowick, I think she said, but they would have needed coppice product to make the laths and things for their swills. And who knows, this might have been the very route by which they went and got their produce from the woods, took it up to Abbott Park, then down to Bandrake Head, then on to Oxon Park to make their swills and baskets and whatnot. Who knows? Anyway, it's that kind of thing which would have produced that Holloway. That's all I'm saying. A little bit of local woodland industry going on. Up until about, what was it, 1967 or something like that. Thanks, Poppet. Yeah. So there you go, maybe from source to factory. That's what we've been looking at. Now we've got our eye in, there's a sort of vestigial remnant of a Holloway on this side of a ford as well. Just alongside the track obviously, but maybe this was the old track or a continuation of that Holloway that we've been looking at on the other side. This is a very wide angle lens on this camera, but what we're looking at there is green odd sands, if you like, and the faint line of the railway from Plumpton Viaduct across to Holker Head, and I can make out the caravan park at Holker Head, is it, you know, Heysham Power Station, and the Fylde coast beyond. All this is just above and behind the campsite, which is only 100 metres away. Oh, that's that fell up there behind Poppet where we were the other day looking back. Come on then. No? Oh, okay then.
As soon as you get the camera.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a fan of dry stone walling, and look at this fold-up pen, how beautifully that's been reconstructed. Very recent too. Beautiful work, whoever's done that, that is marvellous, isn't it, you know? Beautifully coped out, set batter, that's just exquisite. Another thing to get excited about, marvellous. Just in front of us here, we probably have the remains of early walls dating back perhaps to the Abbott's time. And then again this beautiful fresh work just here. Beautiful curvature. That's just nice to see, isn't it? Walls being rebuilt and restored. That's just elegant and proper. Now just to give you an idea of how tucked away this farmsteading is in a little crook in the, or a fold in the landscape. You just watch as I elevate now. There's the chimneys. Just see this hill that we're on above the farm just takes the weather and the wind off the little the cottage and the outbuildings. And there it is, as if by magic, it appears before our eyes. And there's our friendly sheepdog. Look at that. Just tucked away in a fold of the land to keep it snug. That's how they did it. Not lovely. Yeah, I know. Come on then. Indeed. Oh, feeding time. No, you're not. Not time for tea.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God. That means him.
Come on then. Wonderful classic range of farm buildings, and in good repair as well. You know, it's just brilliant. Beautiful sort of biscuit box picture.
She's probably moving now.
They look a bit nervous of me. Okay, well, I'm going. Don't fret now. You settle. This is what you call a proper tranquil holiday, isn't it?
I'm the king of the castle.
Oh yeah. Oh, hello. I know if I get down there you'll peck my hand, won't you? Like your mate did at, where was it? Fremington Edgeway. Oh, that's a bonny black rooster. Is that a bantam cock, do you think? The black one?
Know the name of it.
Oh. A bedraggled duck. Maybe it's just had a bath in a bucket and it's all fluffed up. It used conditioner, of course, and that's why its hair is so bouffant.
It's just losing feathers.
Yeah. House martins, I think. Oh, there they've gone. There was this large stone which appears to have been deliberately shaped with a large staple or hook in the top. Now that looks far bigger than something you'd want to tether a goat to or something like that, so did it have some other purpose? Massive counterweight for something? I'm not sure. Another little enigma. Here's some more of that cotton grass or bog cotton. I think this stuff is quite flammable, you know, if you set a match to it, it'd go up like nylon wood or something. I just feel like little rabbit spores or something, you know. A bit like thistledown, I suppose you might call it, or what's that other stuff? Rocket plant, dandelion. A bit like that, you know. Fair old clump of it around here. Just while Poppet's filling her water, I'm getting all sad and technical about this again. Just look at this member here. Do you see how it's forged? It increases in section where it needs it for maximum bending, and then towards the end it tapers off here, and it's kind of, you know, indented both sides to make it like a really heavy eye section, and it thickens up as it comes aft. Look at that. There is a bit of a legend on here. Where did I see it? I can't work out what it says, so see, that might just be a part number or part identity. There's something else there, and something else down there on that other disc share. ratchet mechanisms for lowering or raising the ploughs. And because these ploughshares, when they're cutting through the soil, would have a reaction force that way, then you have this slant wheel to counter those forces. Otherwise the plough would just go round and round in circles just by these ploughshares acting like rudders, if you like, in the water, like it does on a boat. So that cant wheel bears against the uncut ridge and stops it slewing round. Just fantastic. Yeah, look at that. That's just solid rectangular bar with a few holes in for adjustments. This piece here, solid bar, 1.25" or whatever it is. Just wish I could find a maker's plate on it though. There will be one. I just can't find it. Oh, it's under here. We're going in. Poppet's looking disgusted at me. No. She's got the patience of a saint while I get into things. Ah, no, shame I can't find a maker's plate. I like to when I can find it. But actually, looking at all the ground up here, it's all just fell, pasture fell. Someone at some point must have thought, I know, let's just put in an acre of turnips or whatever it was. I'll ask the landlady about that tomorrow. Wonder if her grandpa or something did a bit of arable or tried it up here, just for the sake of experiment.